Every morning, Taoist monk Wang and his disciples collect dewdrops from the grass and leaves. In the past, this activity of collecting water from heaven was done so that secret concoctions could be made. But for the people of today, it's just a ritual. That said, for more than 1,000 years, Taoists on Mount Wudang have never ceased in their efforts to find a way to absorb the essence of heaven and the earth.
天河水呢，就是指天上的那个露水还没有落到地上，那叫天河水。它最早是源于那个扁鹊，说那个扁鹊啊，他曾经跟那个常山君，跟他在学习的时候，他由于他非常的这个善待常山君啊，所以常山君为了报恩呢。 就给了他一种药，这种药呢，然后告诉他，我给你这个药啊，你要用这个天河水，叫上池之水，把它吞下去。
Legend tells us that after he took the medicine, Bian-Chua could see things he had never seen before, and that with this newfound ability, his medicinal skills became quite extraordinary. In this era, when people were in awe of heaven, the earth, and nature, Taoists developed a doctrine to explain the relationship between humanity and the universe.
道家一直是这么主张的，就是人法地，地法天，天法道。这天是跟道最接近的，那天下来这个水是最洁净的。 所以说，你要是饮了这个上池之水啊，这个天河水的话，那你人，你就变得洁净了。按照老子的话来说，叫地除玄囊，就把体内的那些污垢的东西，那些浊气、晦气、污气，全部能够洗涤掉。所以他特别重视这个天河水。
Today, through science, we know that the world is full of wonders, yet it's fair to say we've discovered only part of what exists. Stories about this mountain, passed down to us from history, describe it as a magical world. The Taoist monk Liu He, who lived in the era of the southern and northern dynasties, covered hundreds of kilometers a day collecting medicinal herbs for poor people. The ability to walk vast and deep mountains and forests while collecting medicines was vital for Wudang Taoists. There were, after all, tigers in these parts. Taoists regarded this ability to walk very fast as something quite ordinary, but to others, including the rulers of the time, it was an almost superhuman skill. The legendary medical almanac of the Taoists has long since been lost, but one very special secret preparation was passed down orally through generations of Taoist monks on Mount Wudang. It was said that this medicine could cure all manner of illnesses, and in the case of those who had no illness at all, prolong the lifespan. Taoists called this magical medicine the magic pill.
清朝顺治年间呢，这个据说皇姑，就是皇帝的这个姑姑啊，病重，天下的这个名医，甚至这个太医啊，都治不好她的病。那么就听说这个武当山的这个道医这个医术高超，那么就请了这个珍宝医道长，到了皇宫，把这个皇姑的病给治好了。 那么他用的药是什么呢？就是这个八宝紫金锭。
Taoist monk Wang has heard a lot about this magic pill. According to the old medical books, this pill was regarded as a cure for all ailments. It's said to be very powerful against any poison, even that of the pufferfish. Ching imperial records concerning prescriptions and ready-made medicines record that this magic pill was a standard treatment for all illnesses. Taoist Wang documented everything about the pill and his reflections on what he discovered. Curious at first, he became increasingly skeptical, but some 30 years on, he's decided to attempt to make it himself, following the prescription passed down through the centuries. As soon as monk Wang had this idea, he felt intoxicated. Not even a wild snowstorm could have stopped him, and despite the passing of time, he became not less determined but increasingly determined. He insisted on making his idea a reality, and he was never satisfied with the progress he was making.
走八宝紫金锭或这个有些养生丹，很多的药都是借用天气的这个灵气，你五行星旺的时候就借用它的气，这和一般世俗医生制药上的一个不同的特点。他强调了时间，强调了天人合一，说人也是自然之中的一物。 所以说，生存都是靠自然之气，它才生存。
Taoist monk Wang knows that this is no simple remedy. During the Ming Dynasty, Mount Wudang was a royal place, and all secret prescriptions from the mountain were for the royal family only. In fact, during the Ching period, these secret medicines became the Taoists' livelihood. Unfortunately, however, part of the prescription for the 8-treasure gold ingot has long been lost. According to the Taoists of old, this magic pill came from a recluse named Xu Ziping, who lived during the era of the Eastern Jin dynasty. After quitting his position at court, Xu Ziping came to Mount Wudang to cultivate himself and seek knowledge of Taoist medicines. His magic pill had just 9 ingredients, and it was mainly used for bodily injuries or as an antidote for poisons, the latter being its main use. Starting with the ingredients still known, Taoist Wang began experimenting. The vast Mount Wudang region is certainly not short of medicinal herbs. They've drawn renowned doctors from all over China for time immemorial. According to history books, during the Ming Dynasty, the famous doctor Li Shizhen came several times to Mount Wudang, staying at Yellow Dragon Cave. His epic work, Compendium of Materia Medica, documents some 400 medicinal herbs found on Mount Wudang. This was a huge task, extremely difficult from the outset. Those few ingredients that were known, though seemingly simple, functioned differently at different times of the year, depending on the location and season they were collected. The difference had much to do with purity. Even the drying process made a great difference. For every detail, there was a rule to follow, and even a slight mistake would drastically reduce the effectiveness. Because there were so many unknown factors, each time a Taoist monk prepared a medicine, he would pray to the god of the Golden Summit, hoping to be blessed by heaven and earth. He could only make the magical longevity pills if he could find the magical ingredients in nature, make them part of the prescription, and process them under a high enough temperature.
他有这样一个思想逻辑，就是我是我父母生的，父母是他的父母生的，那么这个生命的链条无穷的追上去，最初发动生命的那个源头是什么？修炼内丹，道家追求长生是要找出这个源头。这个源头既在远古，又在我自己本身，我这个生命才可以不断的传演下去，传续下去。那么我所修炼的就是要顾住那个根本。
What then is it that makes life continue?
当你占有了某种物质的时候，你跟这个物质本身会发生感应说。那么外丹呢，其实它的很核心的一个原理就在这里，就是说，中国人认为人的生命不如树木的生命长，而树木的生命不如石头的生命长。那么这里边他就会发现，那我就要占有什么呢？我最好是要让我的生命来占有这种石头的特性。所以最初的外丹其实全是从矿物质中去炼的。
The pursuit of longevity began with the royal family, and the frenzied search for a magical longevity pill went on for thousands of years. The Changzu emperor of the Ming dynasty even sent secret operatives to Mount Wudang several times in the hope of obtaining such pills. The book Elementary Methods of Hygiene is a book about their preparation. Modern science has proved that the human body needs minerals from nature. To be energetic, a human body needs many trace elements, including gold and silver, and indeed the legendary 8-treasure gold pill contains coral, shellfish, and minerals. The obsession with the pursuit of longevity led to the developers of the magical longevity pill making unexpected discoveries ahead of their time, although the dosages often exceeded that which we would consider the proper amount. By the time of the Jin and Sui dynasties, healthcare through minerals reached its peak, with the taking of 5 precious stones, very much the fashion among officials and scholars. However, mythology and science are two different things. This reckless pursuit of longevity and longevity pills resulted not in longevity, but in the death of many people seeking it. However, there's often a certain paradox in history. Stupidity can sometimes lead to wisdom.
他认为通过这样的一种修炼，就能够提炼出天地生化万物的最初生生不息的那个生命的源头。服侍外丹、金丹，其实它要服侍的是天地造化万物那个生生不息之力。当这样一个力融化到生命中的时候，生命才有可能健康长寿。
At times, these magical longevity pills slowly poisoned those who took them. Sometimes they even resulted in instant death. No less than 7 emperors of the Tang dynasty died in this way. Today, inside Zixiao Palace on Mount Wudang, stands a statue of Tang medical sage Sun Simiao. According to historical records, it was during his secluded life on Mount Wudang that Sun Simiao completed his classic book, Priceless Vital Prescriptions. In another of his books, in a chapter entitled How to Use Sulfur, he describes how to make gunpowder. Thus, history once again manifested the paradox that mistakes and failures can sometimes be the beginning of the road to truth. Numerous Taoists full of religious fervor devoted themselves to the making of magical pills, and it was from these roots that primitive forms of medical science, healthcare, and chemistry sprang. The famous British scientist Joseph Needham once highly lauded these attempts, saying that in the history of Chinese culture and technology, where there was science, there were Taoists.
中国古代的那个“一”字的写法呢，它下面，恰恰有2种写法，一种底下是那个“乌”字，其实跟道教也就很有关系了。就是后来到《说文解字》里，它解释“乌”呢是说2个女人围着火堆跳舞的意思。那么这个就跟古代的这个巫术，它就有一点点关系。
This famous picture from the Han Dynasty explains the character sorcery in great detail. In the picture, Fu Qi is holding a square while Yu Hua holds a gauge. In ancient China, these two objects represented rule. Only through understanding the rule of heaven, the earth, and the universe could one become an immortal. Although the making of immortality pills proved to be a failure, through their experiments, Taoist alchemists came to know the relationship between man and nature. They formulated the principles of the 5 elements, in which each element gives rise to and is overcome by the other. They also discovered much about the human body as a whole. In particular, the way organs help to produce and maintain each other. They learned that if one organ has a problem, other organs will also suffer, resulting in a series of imbalances in the human body. This is a healthcare practice that Taoist monk Wang developed from Taoist therapies. In Chinese, it's called Ba Duan Jin. Through this therapy, the channels in the human body are kept open, which is, of course, good for one's health. To medical practitioners, this is nothing new. Ancient medical books in China deal with many therapies concerning the energy of the human body, referred to as Qi. The earliest systematic methods were Yu Bu and Wu Qing Qi, but today the most popular is Yi Jing Jiang.
世界卫生组织的许多专家呢，已经发现这些年已经发现，影响人类健康以及死亡的这个疾病谱或者死亡谱呢，这些年呢已经发生了巨大的变化，和以前已经大不相同了。比如说，现在影响我们人类健康，尤其是都市人健康的常见病，像心脑血管病、肿瘤、糖尿病这几种疾病呢，是目前社会上最常见的疾病。但是呢，世界卫生组织也发现，这些疾病产生的原因呢，并不是什么好像就是遗传或什么，而常常呢是由我们现在人的生活方式所造成的。
In an age in which everything is fast-paced, what is the significance of life? Has science and technology made our lives better or worse? In our race to move ahead quickly on the road to prosperity, has the cost of this been to leave internal peace and inner stillness far behind?
其实道家的这个养生思想和养生理论体系，它整个的文化的概念和现在的我们世界卫生组织提出的我们重点要关注的这个预防医学这个体系啊，是有异曲同工之妙。那么预防医学在西医上叫预防医学，中医叫什么呢？叫治未病。
The best preserved wooden structure on the gold summit of Mount Wudang is called Wang Tung. Built during the reign of Yongle of the Ming Dynasty, it was rebuilt in the 29th year of the Daoguang Emperor in the Ching period. Inside this building are many carved figures from Taoism. They reflect popular practices of the Qing dynasty, both in terms of religious beliefs and values. Due to its sacred position, generations of Taoists have looked upon this building as the birthplace of the 8 treasured gold ingot. It was right here, during the reign of Emperor Jing of the Ming dynasty, that Taoist monk Zhang Baoyi brought together 100 separate ingredients to make the magical longevity pill. Many of the ingredients he used were rare elements available only to the imperial family. Among them was Xiangjian Xiang, a precious perfume from Nanyang used as a tribute for Ming emperors. Every year, the royal family used over 5 tons of this rare perfume. Taoist monk Wang's work making the magical pill has reached a critical moment. But now winter's come and he hasn't been able to obtain everything that he needs. According to the legend, the pill is made up of 108 ingredients. They should be prepared in 8 parts and processed separately in the 8 palaces scattered across the 400 square kilometers of Mount Wudang. Timing is also critical, and every aspect is specified. The day, month, year, the different phases of the moon, the different seasons, the different winds, and so on. The sequence of adding each part and the dosage used must follow the changes of heaven and earth and the human condition. Over 600 years ago, people, heaven and the earth were in perfect dialogue. Taoist medical practice and the yin and yang belief had formed a perfect marriage.
"我命在我不在天地"，道家的这个养生里面始终啊，比如说包括从外丹到内丹，它都有同样一个逻辑。一个叫做顺则生人，就是顺应自然本性，它会生生不息，生化万物，一代换一代。那么还有一个道教的修炼叫做逆则成丹，逆则成丹要反生，火可以反生木，水可以反生金，就可以让人长生不老，或者保持生命的生生不息。
Everything is ready. Taoist monk Wang and his disciples are on the last step of making the pills. Wang Tung is on the Golden Summit, the place where long ago the 8 treasure gold ingot was secretly made. After being checked and approved, all the materials were sent here to the chief altar on the edge of the cliff, where they were later processed and made into powder. A specially elected Taoist dripped water from heaven into the powder and gently stirred it to make sure the ingredients were well mixed. Then, they folded the paste into molds made of mahogany wood of different sizes. After the moisture had evaporated, they opened the molds to take out the contents, wrapping the pills with gold foil before carefully boxing them. After many sleepless nights, Taoist monk Wang has finally made the pill. He's waited for just this moment for more than 30 years. However, he finds that now he's achieved what he set out to do. His life has returned to the way it was before. He now has a feeling of being lost at the meeting point between dream and reality. Whether his pill is successful or not, his wish has now been fulfilled. He's documented every step involved in making the magical pill, and he's recorded the steps in a book for anyone of a later generation who might like to try it again. He feels tremendously relieved.
神仙出于道家，它无非就是一种心理影响生理的一个过程。所谓心理，你像我们常在生活当中遇到的这七情六欲，这喜怒忧思悲恐惊，都是来源于精神这方面。你放开了这些东西，就是一种心理上的一个解放喜悦。你心里谁哪都好了，你这五脏六腑不受到伤了，它自然就平和。所以说呢，它的生理呢，自然就得到了和谐。这种永恒的调节。
All of the magic pills are in fact prescribed for psychological problems. Over the past 1,000 years, the pursuit of fame and material gain has made people restless, anxious to prolong life. But they've neglected the simplest and most fundamental thing. That is, life is short, and fame and material gain is short-lived. We should ask ourselves this: in our life between heaven and the earth, is our mind following the way of nature? The secret of longevity and everlasting energy has always been in our hands.